You know how social media and app culture are often called toxic or draining at the very least? Well, though the Rangers don't really know exactly how the Nobody virus worked or works, when the mysterious Raggedy figure uses internet app culture, they certainly seem to get things on the nose. We begin Wheel of Misfortune with everyone gathered around Mabe's computer setup as Mabe goes through various things they've seen on the hacked Angel Grove cameras. And there's still curiosity surrounding the cameras, especially the time codes and why everything seems to be in a loop of some kind. Um, the cameras that are painted at those working at the mostly empty airport desks. There are cameras that showcase arrow-based graffiti around Restaurant Row, and Latour, who had worked there in the tea shop, and who is bearing peanut butter and jelly French toast, has never seen this arrow-based graffiti that all have exponent numbers on them. And maybe most troubling are the purple warthog license plates on swap vehicles in the garage of Julie's limos in the industrial district. The purple warthog shows up in just a couple places, mostly in little flags or lapel pins in Mayor Bulkmeyer's office, but it's enough to wonder if they're connected, and if so, how. Lua theorizes, based on their knowledge of Area 52, that the experimentation room found on camera 33 is probably there and underground in some sort of tunnel system, but doesn't have any thoughts on the faux destroyed air conditioner like structures found on top of Ernie's G Spar slash gym slash youth center, and also in a camera focused on Angel Grove Prep and its rooftop. But there's plenty to see at Ernie's Juice Bar as well, since camera 30 has an obvious staged photo in it, making the place look abandoned but fine. But just behind the photo, just enough in frame to frame the camera, is some form of ice that happened there. And then there's camera 28 that's pointed at the inner courtyard and towards some graffiti with ranger silhouettes and the question, where are you? Lua is pretty sure that they know the artist, Alex, although there's an overlay of ice around the Black Ranger that has the word ritual to it. That doesn't seem to be part of Alex's MO of painting traditional figures in graffiti fonts. Now, Ophelia, who had been sick with a migraine recently and had been kind of out of commission, here is where she begins to edge out of the room when something on her phone becomes pressing and a little distracting. It's the sound of a Wheel of Fortune themed app comes to life, and a bad persuasion roll puts her under its spell as she starts to drift away from the room and from the theories and from the cameras. Out of the corner of her eye, she sees an old friend and rushes toward them just outside the saloon, but never quite letting go of the Fortune app, especially when bonuses start to pile up to keep Ophelia interested and eyes glued to the screen. The rest of the Rangers begin to connect the dots as a new phrase is sprung up over the Sentinel poem in the entrance tunnel of the mine just outside of town. The rituals of Phaedos have begun. That's what's written, overlaying the poem, and a ranger in a cape switches between five unknown power weapons while battling an unseen foe. There's a shield and a slim sword with a star in the hilt. There's nunchucks, there's daggers. It's all very strange. And axes, a pair of them. Now, this is a hieroglyphic overlay, and again, the whole poem itself is wreathed with ice. And it's the same kind of ice as the word ritual that is spelled out atop Alex's graffiti work. Now, Lua does remember this graffiti work, especially because Alex was uniquely signature in his field, but also because it was around the time Alex was framed by Rita that Lua first encountered the Zords from a hidden place in an alley when the Rangers fought wheeled, teleporting, putty-like creatures. Terrifying nightmares that reminded Lua, or at least me, the GM, of Wheelers from Return to Oz. It's only when Mabe turns to camera 36 and before camera 36 disappears from the system, a place that shows a mysterious green light its edges and people being kept locked up while strange men with cogs for faces patrol that Lewis' phone, and then Mabe's phone, and then Benji's phone, and not their ranger morphers, but their civilian phones begin to chime and sound aloud from this Wheel of Fortune app, promising riches, a good time, free puzzle bonuses if they'll just play, just give it a moment of their time. Alluring and, at least in one case, mesmerizing enough to forget that none of them even remembers ever having downloaded the game at all, or how it got on their phone, or why they can't get it off of their phone, like get to any sort of exit screen to even figure out where the app came from. Benji just ends up karate chopping and throwing their phone away. But this does cause them to notice that Ophelia has left the room and has been gone for at least a little bit of time. Latour couldn't handle all the noise because it got louder and more insistent altogether. While searching both for Latour and Ophelia, and while Mabe tries to reconnect to camera 36, Lua and Benji come across a giant clown monster that Ophelia is convinced is her missing friend Janine, whom Ophelia had followed the Nobody virus signal in order to find. So convinced is Ophelia of this that she misses signs of bewitchment, even as the Ranger's morph and Benji, newly after his stint in the wall, reveals a new power from the Henshin fruit ring he'd acquired. While Ophelia is in pain from literal claw fingers digging into her shoulder, Benji goes through a loop, watermelon, then pineapple wall in the wall, and now something called Cherry Soda Triumphant, which leaves him invisible to lower level monsters during morph combat, and smelling like cherry soda. The demon clown who's not Janine has their claws in Ophelia literally, but she will be broken from her curse during combat in order to realize something about this monster can be defeated but feels stronger and more solid than the monsters they faced before, even with them winning. When the monster is slammed with the psychic train from the Tokyo train ring Glua bears, Ophelia's phone is broken and smashed, as well as the monster. And just attached to that phone is Latour's faded Wheel of Fortune tarot card. Now, Mabe, as it turns out, never does reconnect to Camera 36 nor with the group, but instead is offered a choice at a pivotal moment. A new camera appears, but that camera is not part of this 3536 Angel Grove camera pattern. It connects instead locally to the cell where the Raggedy Man is staying at in the mine, and is how one of the Rangers first met the Raggedy Man. Instead of chasing after clowns, seeing the other Rangers have it, Mabe chooses to go after information instead and teleports into the computer camera. Seeing a silver bolted door, she slides by in the information superhighway, Freakazoid style. She lands in the cell and faces the spectral form, because physical form is hard to pin down, of the Raggedy Man, who rises to take her morpher and power. He is grateful to see Mabe and believes Mabe is giving up their power of their own volition, and when Mabe refutes this and tries to get information, Raggedy Man is delighted to tell Mabe that though the rituals of Phaedos have begun, that they cannot succeed because Raggedy Man says that we, and Mabe recognizes this we means as part of a collective, that we have Rita, Lord Zed, Ivanus, and the Emperor, and that the Rangers cannot win, even with the rituals having begun, even not knowing what they are, which causes a great laugh. In viewing the Raggedy Man's full face, Mabe is shown a vision of a black hole at the edge of the universe. It resembles an eyeball whose gaze turns in the Blue Ranger's direction and seems to prize that which makes Mabe a Power Ranger. Slumming back down into their present body, Mabe gets away from the Raggedy Man just in time to be blocked into the cell by the Minotaur. Seeing them together this way, it occurs to Mabe, is the Minotaur a monster just like the rest from one of Latour's faded deck? But then Latour comes to the rescue in a place he did not want to return to, bringing a silver tray crashing down on the Minotaur's head and heralding Mabe's escape from the Raggedy Man cell altogether. The lore of the universe and the danger of the Raggedy Man seem intertwined now, but just wait till the 24th, when a sunny day at St. Honore causes blistering pain.